The Two Count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, and like, and if you're watching the live stream, join us with your comments and questions. And now here are the hosts of The Two Count, comedian John Russell, and wrestling broadcaster Big Ace.
And here we are. It's another Tuesday. Happy to see all of you watching. Great to be here among the living. Ace was out on a little bit of a mini vacation over the weekend. I was out working 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Holy cow, that didn't happen. 2 of them were outside. One was over in Stillwater. It was 89 degrees. Sweating my balls off. But it was fun. And then the Saturday night was out by Spicer, Minnesota at a winery. And it was even hotter and more humid. And I sweat my balls off even worse. And then I had a sweaty ass drive, 2.5 hours back home. So
gross.
I know. And then I happily on Sunday, the trip was only 15 minutes. So, but I still had to sit there and wait for everybody to get done. So anyway, that was my weekend in a nutshell. And by the way, I did follow and catch up with as much as I could. Right afterwards, I got through all of Dynamite. I got through some of NXT, which, to be honest with you, not NXT, but the Takeover. To be honest with you, I thought and we'll get to it, but I thought the Pat McAfee and Adam Cole match was freaking insane.
Oh, it was amazing.
I mean, that was well worth watching the entire show for.
Yeah, that was that thing was sick.
It was.
Had to know though that like Pat McAfee, and again we can go over through that Takeover card here, but I mean you kind of had to know McAfee.
Oh yeah, well like I said, I mean, here's the thing: punters typically are more agile than a defensive end lineman, what have you. And actually, they're typically more agile than a linebacker. So that's I always think that's kind of cool.
What's up, cousin? Be safe out there, cuz. Yeah, it's pretty scary. All my family's in that like Kenosha, Racine, Milwaukee.
Oh
area,
shit, yeah.
Where things are getting a little crazy this week. So
well, Dan Frank is over there too.
Yeah, man, it's crazy stuff going on over there. So
it is. It's yeah. But yeah, I just felt like that, and then just really, and we'll touch on it too. But I pretty much saw everything coming on SummerSlam. So I would like to wave the flag of false advertising.
So, how about this? Should we talk about? Let's get our reactions on what Thunderdome. I don't see we haven't really talked about that, and then we can get into the WWE shows.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to. You said you saw the Dynamite show, so I'd like to hear about it again. Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw what you were talking about earlier on Facebook too, man. So I hope everybody out there is being safe, bearing down, keeping your stuff safe. Yeah, it just sounds crazy. They're saying that there's like blacked out license plate and window cars rolling down the highways out there. Not like
yeah,
overall, it sounds like there's about to be some shit going down. So,
well, I
know my cousin though, man. I know he'll be all right. He'll be good. Ain't nobody gonna mess with him. But yeah, man, crazy out there. So, but yeah, Thunderdome, man. So again, well, I'll have you fill me in on AEW kind of towards the end, just because again, like you said, I was gone, man. I was in Pepin, Wisconsin all weekend.
Yeah.
With a good group of friends. I didn't really think about it till we were there, but the group of friends I was with, we've all been kind of intertwined in each other's lives since high school. So like about 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
And this was the first time we did something like this.
Oh, that's awesome though.
Pretty cool. It was a good time. We're going to do it again next year. Saturday all day. We were just cruising the river, the Mississippi River in a pontoon, doing some fishing, swimming.
Did you catch any fish?
A couple of my buddies got some bites. I think one of them caught a couple, but we didn't really stop anywhere. Plus, it's hard to fish like right on the river.
You didn't even go to the pickle factory?
We did. We went there the very first night.
Okay.
And I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like, I think it's just because it's the big green chair and that it's on the right there.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just the place to stop. It's like slippery. It's like, it's just everybody thinks it's cool because you can stop, get off your boat, go and have a beer, get back on your boat and take off.
Yeah.
Because we ate there Friday night and it wasn't anything special.
Right.
Like, I would never go out of my way to eat at the pickle factory. So anybody in like the Minnesota, Wisconsin area that's watching us and knows what the pickle factory is in Pepin, Wisconsin and love it. Sorry.
But you would never drive your car to go to the pickle factory.
No.
You would only go on a boat.
Yeah, and I realize that now. But our house was literally like a block away from the pickle factory.
Oh.
So that was actually where like we had to go to Red Wing, which anybody listening, we were in one town. We had to go up a half hour to get to the boat where we rented because the town we were in didn't have any more up for rent.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to drive like a half hour, 40 minutes to get to Red Wing from Pepin. Then drive the boat all the way back down on the river. And we didn't even pull up to the pickle factory dock. We just pulled up next to it into the rock bed. And all of the friends that didn't come with us to pick up the boat in the morning, they just came down. They walked down and brought all the coolers and shit.
Oh,
we
nice.
Rolled up onto the rocks. Everybody got on, pushed off, and we were going. It was great. It was great. It was, and so because of that, I legitimately like from like 1 o'clock Friday till like a little during SummerSlam at some point. I think I finally looked at my phone, but I was not on any social media or anything except for maybe like 3 times when I posted a photo, maybe twice. And that was it. I didn't pay attention to nothing. I didn't know anything. I didn't know. Someone else told me when I came home. They were like, "Man, did you hear about Wisconsin?" I was like, "No, what?" We were oblivious to everything in the world the last weekend. So it was really nice.
It happens, man.
Definitely.
And it's needed too.
Yeah, it was super needed. So it was a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Good.
But yeah, so Thunderdome debuted on SmackDown, it was weird, man. We tried to watch it, like me and a couple of my buddies that were there are wrestling guys, so we tried to turn it on. They had DirecTV out there, but they didn't get Fox for some reason.
Well, so here's the thing. I know what they're trying to do. I see what they're trying to do. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Oh, you know where that button is? It's right there, so I can grab it. It would be one thing if the people that were on the screens were the ones making the noise, but they're not. It's still piped in fake noise. It's piped in noise as to what they want. Does it look much better than the Performance Center? Hell yes. Does it change anything that they're doing? For me, not really.
Mm-hmm.
It looks different. It doesn't, I mean, it looks better than having, 25, talent standing out on the floor and pounding on the glass. Although there were times when I kind of liked that.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. It was distracting to me. That's the boards though. I honestly, you're right with the audio. I could do with or without it, but what I did find is I noticed it right away. Like, oh, they're piping in this crowd sound.
Yeah.
But then I also realized like 10 minutes later, I wasn't even paying attention to it because I was too busy like actually watching people's screens. And honestly, I enjoyed the talent interacted with those screens because it is live, and we'll get into why it's live and how we know it's live. Because I enjoyed that because if like Kevin Owens went up to one of those screens and went to that specific picture and did that, you would see the reaction of like, he's talking to me.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. It was the best way that they can bring a crowd feeling back to this, which desperately needs. And I somehow was okay with it. And I just enjoy that it's in that bigger arena finally again. You can tell they have more room. I like the screens. I like the setup. It was kind of fun because you can see people who you would normally see at those shows. But the big question is, can they feasibly keep this up live?
It looks really cool. The look of it is neat. Although, like, and we've talked about this many times. You know, they don't write this shit for me. Although there's guys that are on there, but I would see every once in a while where a guy would be there with his kid,
Mhm.
you know, and then I'm like, oh, that makes me feel good. Or there'd be one where a guy would just put a stuffed animal in front of the thing, and I'm like, oh, what a douche.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
that I noticed. Yeah, I was like, if I was in charge of this, if anybody got up to go to do like that, they would have like because obviously I'm not going to be like, I would hope they wouldn't be like, you can't for 3 hours, you can't move.
right.
Like, let me go to the bathroom. You know, I mean, if I got to go, I got to go. So like they should have like a 5-minute clock on those people. And if it's more than that, then they get kicked out. Someone else.
Rotate them out. Because here's the thing. They could easily take the guy that was in the second or third row, I don't remember which, that put up a stuffed animal. They could easily take that, shift it to the back, pull somebody up front, and then if the guy comes back, maybe, who knows, whatever. But I mean, that's what I would do if it was me. I'd pull all of those douchebags and just they'd still be there. They'd just be in the goddamn rough. I don't know how they're setting that up. I know somebody in the Jericho Cruise group on Facebook mentioned that they got on for something. They got on the list to be on the camera for something. I don't remember which one it was. I don't remember seeing them say how you would go about being on it. I think it'd be kind of cool.
I think you just go to the WWE.com. I think you just go there and you, because I think you have to go through like an application process. I don't think it's crazy. And then like they'll tell you if you get accepted, I guess. Because I mean, this sounds like what's going to be happening at least for the next couple months until they can get back to crowds.
Yeah,
a few months that they're going to just rent out the time at the arena and do the Thunderdome. And I hope they do. It would suck if they did all this just for a week.
Right. Well, and I don't think they are, because they did Friday, they did the pay-per-view on Sunday, and they did Monday Night Raw from there too. I think they're going to continue to do it. I would much rather see them do that than the idiotic Underground.
Yeah, and I didn't get to see Raw, but I heard they cut out a lot of segments out of the Underground. Like they had taped way more than what they used on this week's Raw.
If that's the case, great, because even the stuff that they showed was just stupid. You know,
it's one of those things where it's going to run its course. I think everybody knew it was going to last for like a month or two, and then it's going to just go away. But yeah, man, the Thunderdome, I really enjoyed it. It was, but the question again too is, can they feasibly go live? Because not only the people who would get up and go to take a break or whatever, but then you have these few people that got through that. You had, what was it? They had someone that had the Fire Velveteen Dream sign.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They had someone who had an MJF 2020 sign that got
nice.
They had someone who was in a KKK outfit that got on TV.
Oh, wow.
They had and I didn't see this. Apparently, you can find it online. And I read a story, so I guess I don't know how super true this is, but I read it from one of the bigger wrestling sites. But apparently, they had someone on there like doing like pretending to do a beheading or something like that, or something. I don't know how true that is, because WW has actually come out now today and apologized about the guy in the KKK outfit and all that, but they didn't say anything about that. So I don't know. Like I said, I read it and the place was like, we're not going to do it, but go to Twitter and you can find it very easily. So that's the question now. I mean, even if that one's not true, you let through and someone got through with a Chris Benoit picture.
Oh,
on TV, so their screen looked like it was just Chris Benoit sitting there.
Nice.
So that's the question. Can they, because they obviously want to keep it live because you get the true reaction then, but you're running a risk. You're running a big risk. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you would think Raw is live, but Raw, all true live programming is still usually on a 3 or 5 second delay.
Yeah.
From the
typically it's 7.
7. Okay. So, I mean, you can't tell me they couldn't get that out.
They've put, hey, I mean, they could have if they wanted to.
I think what that is too many screens, not enough people watching them.
See, that's just it. I think it might. I mean, when they have all of those screens, And because like on my television is not the newest. And so, for example, when the talent comes out and they've got all the lights going for their intros and stuff, my screen is pixelated as shit until that stops.
Mm.
And then when they switch to a different camera that's closer, then it clears up again. All right. So like for me, a lot of those times, unless they were right on those screens, I couldn't tell what the hell they were very clearly anyway. And I would assume that they're not scanning. I mean, you would think that they could scan it the same way that they scan YouTube so they can put us off the air.
Well, and then the other thing too is, I mean, like if you need manpower to do it, there's probably a lot of people who would love a job right now.
Absolutely.
Well, sit there and literally just watch and make sure the people who are watching aren't doing inappropriate things.
Yeah.
If they can figure out a way to actually do that, though, I'm all for this Thunderdome. It's great. It would be. I had the initial thought, like, it'd be great to actually just pipe the noise in from the people watching, but then that would sound weird because it'd be so many just different mono mics and yay, ooh, and then you're also running the risk of shut the F up, Mom, I'm watching Raw. You know what I mean?
Mom, I'm goddamn it, I'm on Raw. Look at me. I think the thing is that probably the sound quality would be just horrible.
Oh yeah, it would be awful.
I mean, because not everybody has a good mic, and there's probably some people that are just on their phones, even though that's okay. I mean, like when we do our show, the mix of what we have is not always the greatest, and the more people that we have in our stream, the harder it gets. So I could see that as well. But yeah, I think overall, I think that the Thunderdome worked out very well. I'm still not a fan of the piped in noise, but that's what they got to do. But
you know what's funny is because of the pipe in noise, they legitimately can now dictate who you're supposed to cheer for.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the whole time that was happening in my head, I'm just like, wow, they're really getting the chance to be like, this is the good guy, everybody. This is the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Where that's the nice thing about pro wrestling and with a live audience is, doing the canned crowd noise. Yeah. It would probably be better. Yeah.
It's a thing though, but here's the thing. I mean, I don't know if you noticed it or not. I noticed a couple of spots, and by the way, Dan, we hope that you're safe over there. You're in a good spot where you can maintain your safety. I think I noticed several times, particularly on SummerSlam, where the audience response was quite a bit behind what they wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know how they're doing. I don't know if they're shooting the show and then putting the sound in after the fact, or if they're trying to match it up live as they go along. I don't know what they're doing. I'm very curious to know, because it's very, very similar to somebody doing stand-up. Oh, okay, 4 hours north. Okay.
Good. You're good. You are good. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's like, for real, that's like where all of my mom's family is that Kenosha Racine area. Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, anyway, so let's hop into some of these big shows that happened this weekend. Should we start with TakeOver 30?
Sure.
This is the first one. So a lot of good matches on this card. A lot of eyes on the Pat McAfee Adam Cole match.
Yep. Which for my money stole the show.
Oh, by far. And then you got Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. And then you had that ladder match. It was a stack card. So let's see here. We'll skip the kickoff show. So Finn Balor versus Timothy.
The ladder match.
Oh no. No, did JR lose his internet again?
Come on. Yeah, there we go. Now we're back. Once a show, man. It's just the ladder match for me was.
Well, hang on, we'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
We're not at it yet.
I want to. Okay.
Well, first match was the Finn Balor Timothy Thatcher match, which is, and those are just two guys that can go in a ring.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. And Balor gets it with gets the win over there over Thatcher. So they're really, it's interesting to see Finn Balor going by the Prince. They totally have dropped the Demon,
Right.
which I think was one thing that made Finn very special.
Yeah.
Like when, and I get it. I mean, they
But
haven't done it.
they can pull it. They can bring it back when they need to.
In the back pocket now.
Yeah.
If he were to come to the main roster again sometime, I would think they would probably bring that out again.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's your ladder match. North American Championship. Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of big spots. So what was your thoughts?
I initially kind of felt like Damian Priest was going to win, and he ended up winning. Which because there were several points where I didn't think he was going to. I mean, there were points when I thought Cameron Grimes was going to win, and I'm not a fan of his.
Yeah, I'm not into it either.
He's like, I would say he's like, yeah, absolutely. I would say Cameron Grimes reminds me of a little more classed up Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
And the laughing about shit to me is ridiculous.
It's definitely one of those gimmicks that will not make it on the main roster.
No.
Like it'll be like kind of like an Elias. It'll get kind of stopped in its tracks initially.
Yeah.
He was able to finally overcome it, but I don't see this dude doing it.
Gargano's always good. Who knows what the hell is? I mean, you hear all different kind of stuff about Velveteen Dream.
Well, and that's why I didn't think he had any chance of actually getting put over on this match.
I didn't think so either.
There's such backlash for bringing him back before this that it was, you're going to put the belt on him, you're going to really cause some more ruckus. So, I mean, Damian Priest seemed like the good, safe one to go with. It was a great match. I'm just not 100% sold on Damian Priest. Like, I'm just like, to me, when they were billing him and building him and he was about to become something on NXT, it was this dark, mysterious dude, and he's got this arrow and lights shit on fire with the head. It's all this like dark and but then he's like then when you see him talking, smiling, it's like he's kind of just a big goof. And then when he won, and the backstage segment where they try to interview him and he's getting into the hot tub outside with the two chicks and popping champagne, and then and then on top of that, didn't even like if it was like, dude, if you're trying to do that, like at least Ric Flair would stop and put his trunks on and then get in. This dude just jumps in the hot tub with these girls in his full-on ring gear.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? And then on top of that, it was, again, you're supposed to be this dark, ominous like guy, and here you are like, yeah, woo, yeah, hookers, whatever. Like, what? It's just weird, man. I'm not for it. Again, he's a great talent. I just don't know what his gimmick is.
Well, see, and here's the thing. What seems to happen is, and I don't know, what seems to happen is that when NXT does this kind of shit that they do on the main roster, it typically fails. It typically fails miserably. I can't think of anything where I've said, "Oh yeah, that's way better than the type of vignette they would do after match behind is the main." Never. And I think that's a big problem for them. Not to say that anybody else is doing it any better, but NXT to me has always just been about we're going to put some matches together. We're going to tell our stories in the ring. We're not going to do this outside shit because, to be honest, it don't work that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything that happens to me on NXT from the entrance to the end of the match is typically fantastic. Anything outside of that is typically somewhat questionable. You know?
Yeah, and to be honest, I've never really had the feeling, like, I've been pretty behind almost everything they've done with NXT and the talent.
Yeah.
This Damian Priest just was one that I'm very indifferent on. I'm not.
Well,
it doesn't do anything for me. And again, it's like, who is this guy? Like, I thought he was some like dark, like almost like creature of the night type deal, and he's all mysterious. And then, like I said, and then you give him a belt, and he's partying in a hot tub, drinking champagne with chicks. Like, what? That's not too dark and mysterious to me. That's just, I don't know. It is what it is. Like, they're going to build him for NXT, but I mean, obviously he ain't going anywhere because
already. And I think the other thing too is that once we get to Raw and we talk a little bit about Keith Lee, obviously this NXT 30 show is built to shuffle some people around a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. It sure is, yeah. And then we get into the Adam Cole Pat McAfee match, which God, they did a really good job just getting to this match. I mean, the thing you got to think about, and I think people sometimes forget when they talk about this, is this was a 2-year build. They've been slowly and subtly building this. You know what I mean? Having these two interact and have them not good interactions, so then someday that's going to come back, and then it did. It was great. One of the few things in the last 6 months to actually have the wrestling world be like, hey, was that a work or was that real?
Yeah, and
I don't know.
And having said what I just said about backstage shit, just this one cancels that out.
Yeah, it definitely was. And then, dude, it was great because they had him come in, McAfee, and made him look like he was going to take it. You know, oh, he's showing off. He thinks he's tough. He thinks he's bad, and that's usually how these go. And then they get like beat up a little bit by, especially in this space, because in this match alone, they totally completely turned Undisputed Era from heel to face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
and like I'm saying, he was good. I enjoyed that, but then something was just off with his NXT, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I like the slow burn of the match too, because dude, this match they got time.
Oh yeah,
I didn't expect this match to have the time it had. Especially when it came up when it did. It was the second or third match of the night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be like a 10-15 minute just gimmicky celebrity match like they usually do. But no, this thing went. And as the match continued on, you more and more were like, Pat McAfee is a legit professional wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely. It went from a celebrity match to this is a real match that can mean something.
Yeah, definitely. And no one better to be in the ring with than him to have paired up with Adam Cole for this first match. You know what I mean? It was just amazing. It really was. It was to the point that I was like, damn, they might actually have McAfee win this.
Yeah.
Like it was good. And man, it showed you, like, it's funny because you listen to Pat McAfee. Have you ever listened? Do you listen to his show ever? Or
I typically don't know.
I'll listen to clips here and there because I do enjoy the guy. And it's funny because I was listening to them talk about it on a show. There was a clip about like stupid spending because he had the money, you know, when he was in the NFL and signing contracts, and just like he was like, before I even like actually signed the contract or anything, and was just drafted. He's like, I bought an Escalade the day I drafted. He's like, didn't even have the money yet. Bought an Escalade. He's like, yeah, I did some stupid spending. And he was going over some of the most expensive things that he spent that were like dumb purchases because he just had it. And he said a wrestling ring. He's like, yeah, that was probably like the biggest one. You know, I didn't know they were for sale, and I found one, and I was like, I gotta have it. I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. And that's the other thing, is he is a fan. Yeah. He has been a fan forever. And then in the show though, he's like, yeah, it's probably gonna be one of the dumbest things I ever bought. I'll never use it. He's like, I've never even used the thing. I don't know how to wrestle, whatever. And you know, fast forward whenever that episode of his show was to Saturday night, and it's like, no, Pat McAfee, you are a wrestler. You would, that match was better than some of the, I mean, that was the best match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was by far the best match of the night, which that should not happen. The rest of the NXT roster should be a little fired up from that, because this guy should not come in and put on the best match of the night of the show with Adam Cole, because he's not there. He's not a full-timer. It's his first debut match. Technically, it's his second. He had one in the Indies, but it was like his first match, on a big level. And it's like this guy that could have been a SummerSlam match.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
should have been on the SummerSlam card. They were doing some NXT matches on Mania and some of those other stuff. They should have did this one on SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, it's the one that I really wanted to watch. Hi, Stacy. Hope you're staying safe.
Yeah, Stacy, stay safe out there. That's that's just a crazy area to be around, man. I didn't even know until yesterday. I had no idea what was going on. So it's scary. And again, it's scary too. Again, I've got so much family right in Kenosha and Racine, and that's just scary, man. So hope everybody in Wisconsin in that area is just being safe. We're thinking of all of you. Hopefully this all can everybody just needs to just get together and be good. Be good. Oh, perfect. Even better. I love it.
We appreciate you letting Dan draft you into watching, Stacy.
That's right. Let's get that women's champion match. Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. Io Shirai wins. I was sad.
Well, of course you're sad, but I think Io Shirai is very, very good and very, very talented, and will probably not come. There you go. That's and
that's
the thing
there, Stacy.
Men will never know proper directions.
That's why we never ask for directions. Man, it was a good match, dude. I like that Kai came out like real tough. Went hard. It was a good match. I like that. Raquel Gonzalez got in there. It made Shirai look real tough, though. You know what I mean? They made her look tough. But I would be all for some more Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. I think that could be a nice long-term story they do. And I'd like to see Dakota Kai get that belt as a heel. I would like it. I think she's a great heel right now. And plus, man, it would have been like when the $1 Million Man picked up a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guy who brings in people to do his dirty work, stuff like that. Like I would be all about it. So good match. And then the NXT Championship, Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. Kross defeats Lee to win. One hell of a match. Two big guys getting after it. Again, if that Pat McAfee Adam Cole match wasn't on there, I think this would have been my favorite match of the night. Oh,
sure.
Now here's my thing. I said this when Karrion Kross and Scarlett debuted. I don't like the entrance.
Yeah.
And I know other people loved it. But the reason I don't like it is, why does she only sing that one little certain part when she gets in there? Because it just, to me, it's so cheesy. Sing the whole goddamn song or don't sing it at all.
Well, maybe she just sings the part because maybe she thinks people want it to think that it's cheesy, and then it draws more heat.
That, and I'm sorry, but does it seem like they have like a 3-4 full minute intro? It's a little long. It's a little long. It's wrestling. Like I want the theatrics, and I want the bells and whistles and all the sound effects and the fire, and I love it. But even the Undertaker, who we all love, we've all made jokes about. I bet it's going to take him about 45 minutes to get to the ring tonight. You know what I mean? I mean, WrestleMania one year, I had people over and we did a WrestleMania quiz, and everybody put money in, and whoever got the best score won. And if there was a tiebreaker, you know what our tiebreaker was? Is everybody had to write down how long it was going to take Undertaker to get from the entrance to the ring.
That's perfect.
And that's because we had a tie. So whoever won that night, they won it because they were like 3 seconds off. And I don't remember what it was. It was like 5 minutes or some shit. But it's like, even then, it's like, unless you're there live on TV, it's like, all right, come on, hurry up. Just get to the match. Like, I like it. But so to me, the Karrion Kross thing's a little long. But I mean, besides that, though, it's just a great match. And again, he beats Keith Lee. You know, Vince loves Keith Lee.
Yeah. And here's the thing, talking about not seeing stuff coming. Like, so this week, prior to that, is when Keith Lee apparently turned over the other belt. The minute that he turned over the other belt, I knew he was going to lose this one.
Yeah, I mean, he was, rumor was Vince was really high on him during the Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they definitely had him lined right up there for here's the thing, Stacy. We are on not only Facebook, we're also on Twitter, Twitch. We're actually on 2 Twitch channels, and we're on YouTube as well. So you're the third one on Facebook.
I feel like she should get a prize.
Well, come up with one.
I don't know. I don't have to give away right now. Yeah, man, it was a good match. I mean, yeah, and obviously this sets up now. Keith Lee is going to debut on Raw. He's going to be. You just hope he doesn't turn into like a Braun Strowman.
I think. Well, if you didn't watch Raw, then you're not going to know what happened, and I don't think that that's going to happen with him.
Yeah, I hope not.
I really don't because what they did with him on Monday was I felt like really good, and not clown shoes at all. So, but we'll talk about that when we get to that one.
Yeah, so we'll move on now and get to SummerSlam. I'm not going to do the pre-show match, which was Apollo Crews versus MVP. He wins. He beats MVP to retain the title. I forget they even do matches on the pre-shows now because I just don't ever watch them. I mean, one of the biggest reasons I used to watch a lot of the pre-shows was Renee Young, and now that she's gone, it's like, which, by the way, we should talk about that at the end of the show because that
yes, we should.
I'm very heartbroken, but I am all about it and supporting her.
That might be.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so yeah, Bayley versus Asuka opens it up, and the big story is Bayley wins. Sasha Banks sacrificed herself for Bayley to get but not really though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that whole thing, they should have had a better spot for that part of the story.
Yeah, because it was chintzy. Because not only was it chintzy when she did it, and not she sacrificed her. It was not. It was nothing.
What it should have been is a spear.
Yeah,
like Asuka should have been trying to go for a spear or a kick, and then you just see out of nowhere Sasha throws herself in front of it, takes it for Bayley, then Bayley capitalizes. Then you can say she just sacrificed herself.
Yeah,
and then when we get to it later, it will mean more. The fact that she just Bayley moved and Sasha was there and took the hit instead.
That's nothing.
It was nothing. She didn't. It wasn't. It was. But okay, whatever. Still a great match.
That's how they want to. That's why they want to. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I am 100% with you. I don't think those two women can have a bad match. I don't think Asuka and Sasha can have a bad match. I think what they were doing was fantastic. Mm-hmm. We had talked about it, and I kind of honestly felt about right now we're on SummerSlam, Nanny. I know we got a bit of a delay, but I hope it's not that bad. But we talked about the possibility of Asuka winning both, and so when she lost that first one, I was disappointed that she didn't win, but I also then knew she was going to win the next one.
Yeah,
and that's that whole.
Yeah, you'll never see it coming.
You'll never see it coming. No, it's mapped down. It's like a big red flag going right down the middle of Broadway. I knew where everything was going, and I was very, very disappointed.
Yeah, and we can talk about that when we wrap this. Part up on
because there's a lot of things that
there was a lot. Raw Tag Team Championship, Street Profits go over Andrade and Angel Garza.
I've seen this match so many times that I'm just fucking tired.
Yeah, and they went nowhere with the poisoning.
Right.
Unless they did something else on Raw that I didn't see this last week. They've gone
not really.
It looked like that was the setup to Zelina Vega versus Bianca Belair, and now it's just done.
And that's kind of coming, but it's like it's just I don't.
Again, though, still a good match though.
Absolutely,
still a great athletic match. So you can't take that away, but it is gone to the whale maybe one too many times. Time to maybe shake up that Raw tag division.
Yeah,
I don't mind the Street Profits being on top of it, but like let's get more than 2 or 3 other players in that game.
Yeah.
Next match. So this was interesting. This whole match set up, everything like changed on a dime. And there's a couple theories of why it happened. I don't think it's come out on why it's happened, but this is that Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Originally it was supposed to be hair versus hair.
Right.
Loser leaves bald. I didn't know till they announced it during summer, like when they were announcing the match, is when I was like, oh, they changed.
Oh, wow.
So I must have missed it the night before.
Yep.
Okay. So I was, or 2 nights before. I was like, oh, okay.
And by the way, if you didn't see it on our Facebook page, I posted the video of Sonya testifying in court about all of this, and I'm telling you, I understand why she wants time off. It's brutal.
Well, and the other thing too is, so first of all, the match was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been better, but I think all things considered going into this match, both of these women had a lot on their mind.
Absolutely.
That was outside of the ring. So the little parts that I felt like could have been tighter and better, like, to be honest, I've seen both of them have way better matches.
Yeah.
But again, dealing with what they dealt with the week prior going into this match, it's easy to just look by that. So Mandy Rose obviously wins, beats Sonya Deville. She now has to leave WWE. So there's been a couple things, like you mentioned, her taking time off. I've heard that rumor that she may be taking time off, which is why they didn't do the hair versus hair and they did the loser leaves match. But the other rumor and theory that's going out, and this one I've heard a couple times now, is that her lawyers were kind of like, probably not the best idea to show up to your next court date bald.
Yeah, probably.
So that was kind of the why they changed it. And there's also talk of she may not be going by Sonya anymore. She may come back as her real name, Daria. And then there's also talk that they may actually start to use, because you saw Mandy Rhodes on, what was it, SmackDown? Is that when she did the whole, I'm willing to look past this and be your friend? And
yeah,
I know they were playing into this incident that happened in very real life.
Right.
I mean, what else were they doing there? Because how did that go from a hair versus hair match to all of a sudden, I'm willing to look by all this and you're my friend or whatever. So, I mean, obviously that changed the tempo of the match. So there's talk that they're going to use this now. Like they may use some of this as part of the storyline. Maybe just to get to where they're going. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't, I was talking with Wes about this. He's obviously in this business, and he said the same thing. He's like, if that's what happened, and he said, I don't know, like I unless I was in that situation, I don't know. But he's like, in my head though, wouldn't I rather be on the road? Because I would be almost afraid to be home alone now.
Yeah,
I'd rather be out working.
But in this, but in this situation, she's working from home.
That's true too. There
is no real road.
Which kind of makes me think, I don't think we're going to see her take a long break. If she's even taking a break. I mean, next week, week she's going to show up on SmackDown.
She did post on Twitter, goodbye.
Yeah. But I mean,
obviously for the reasons that she would, but I mean, it's not like I don't feel like
here's the other thing
doing that. It's not going to be, she's going to show up in a month.
I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if she's back in a week or two. It made a lot of sense that they changed things up. To me, when I heard the two stories, I feel like, because like you said, she's still going to be there.
Yeah.
So why not work that one day a week? So at least that's one day you're out and not alone. You know what I mean? Again, I've not gone through what she went through, so who's to say? But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're going to just play this in the storyline because the whole lawyer thing sounds pretty legit. Like,
no, definitely.
And to be honest too, I mean, If this dude tried anything on her and didn't have a weapon, she'd kill him. She would murder him with her bare hands.
Well, but no, here's the thing. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch, because they show the video from her house, and it seems like she's a little bit, it seems like she's shaking pretty well.
Oh yeah, as anybody
in her description. And yeah, if you didn't have but I mean, I think it's different for a woman. I clearly don't know. I mean, but like if you got somebody standing in a room in your patio that's been there, and when you look at it, now she didn't know some of these texts, but texts and Instagram messages and all this type of thing that she got.
Yeah, that's the thing too. You got to report that shit, even if you don't know who it is. You got to just call them.
She wasn't even, and I think she would have had she realized that she was getting them. I mean, I think probably just like, I mean, because I even as dinky a level celebrity as I am, there's people I don't pay any attention to. You know, I'll get stuff and it seems weird.
Yeah,
and
if someone's sending anything to my like phone number.
Yeah, well, but see, that's the thing. I don't believe that they were sending things to her phone.
Oh,
I think it was all Instagram.
Everything on. But the thing is, like, if you're getting messages where it's like, because he was sending stuff that it was like, hey, these are alarming. Like the first one was alarming. You should have reported that shit right away.
Dude, they're hideous and vile.
You know, like you can't, that's the kind of shit you can't ignore. Anybody watching, if you're getting that kind of stuff from somebody, that's not something you just ignore thinking it's going to go away. You got to report that. Not just to be, you know, safe, but to be safe.
Having said that, she is at a level. There's the guy. Report anything that your mother does, Gar. She is the level of celebrity where she's getting stuff, she's posting stuff, but I guarantee you she's not checking private messages.
Yeah,
because anybody that she wants to interact with is going to send her a private message, going to send her a text, or going to call her on the phone, just like you and I would do.
Yeah, that's why I'm always weird that like WWE doesn't have a little bit more of like protection on. You know what I mean? Like I'm surprised they don't just have talent stuff on Instagram.
Yeah,
and they run it for the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So the talent can have their own private and like have it locked, and they can pick and choose who they let follow them. I'm always weirded out by that because anybody in just the media's eye is gonna be subject to that.
Hey, dude, I'm still blocked by R-Truth for no goddamn reason.
I don't know. You pissed him off, man.
I know. It's like trying to climb up a water slide backwards. Never going to work, buddy.
Good effort, though, I guess, man.
All you can do is keep trying.
I'm sure the doctors were amazed when they saw a baby try to climb back.
You're doing the backstroke.
Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in a street fight.
Yeah, it was better than I thought. I complain about R-Truth doing everything.
Dude, that was my favorite when he lit up in that Newport. Oh, I laughed so hard when I was like, dude, did R-Truth just light a cigarette ringside and then throw it on John Morrison? This is TV. This is what I'm here for.
You
know, Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Hey, man, the storytelling is great. I mean, no, Dad, don't jump in. Getting their mom and wife involved too.
Yeah.
Seth's a creep, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But really, the only thing in this match that matters is Dominic Mysterio came out and looked great.
He did. He's been trained well by his old man and whoever else has a hand in it. And
I was waiting for Murphy to turn, though. I thought it was coming.
I was waiting for somebody to turn, whether it was Murphy or whether it was Ray.
Because I thought maybe Mysterio would turn on Ray.
That's kind of I was
Dominic,
and then that's because I never would have seen it coming.
I just thought it would be hilarious if he was beating him with a kendo stick. Like, why would you buy me that PlayStation? I want it, Dad. I hate you.
We'll talk about this when it comes to Raw too, but because there is the possibility.
Obviously, that story is not done.
Right, and there's a possibility somebody else is turning that's not even involved in that match.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
Yeah. I'll just say it because I read it. Aleister Black.
Yeah.
I see he turned on KO. What the shit, Aleister? You don't mess with KO. That's the dude right there. Anyways, Rollins does beat Mysterio, Dominic, that is, in his first very good-looking match. And a pretty good, lengthy, long match, too. Got some good time on there for a rookie. It was good to have that street match. I think there was maybe one move he did that I was like, and then the rest of it, I was like, dude, this kid's solid, man. This kid could go, and I'm glad they're giving him a chance. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it was good. Next, we got the Raw Women's Championship. Sasha Banks versus Asuka. Asuka wins via submission. Now, here's where they had that spot that they did in the beginning with Bayley and Asuka, where Sasha jumps up and takes, the butt? She hits her through the ropes.
The butt drop or whatever you want to call it.
Right. So, again, you want to make this be way more compelling storytelling. You do like a spear or a kick or like a super kick where, again, Sasha jumps in front to take it for Bayley in this first match, and then you have it here where it's going to happen. Bayley's in the ring, but instead of jumps, she just goes down and out. And then you can do the turn.
And see, the thing is, it's just such a difficult move for them to pull this with, because it's still dependent on Sasha to move out of the way. Mm-hmm. Because clearly the first time it was not like it didn't look at all like she shoved Bayley out of the way and just stood there and took it. Right. And this, nobody got shoved. I don't understand it. It didn't look good. It didn't look like comparing apples to apples in terms of somebody did not stand up for me. Somebody did not reciprocate my trying to help him out. It didn't look that way to me, and so even though I'm happy that Asuka won, it just looked weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I kind of was hoping that we'd get more of the split here. Yeah, but I kind of get that you need to wait because they are still the tag champs.
They have to lose. They're going to lose.
Have they announced who the opponent is yet?
Yes.
Okay. So
Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
All right. Whatever.
Well, it's in that whole thing is a whole nother level of.
Baszler supposed to build a program with Asuka now? Wasn't that what they were pre-setting up?
That's what they were talking about. That's what they were talking about. And the problem is that for some reason they feel like they must do something with Nia Jax. They could just let her go home. And
the other thing too is why does someone always have to have two belts now? Becky did it. Be done with it. Because if you're going to put the tag titles on Nia and Shayna, and then you're going to also have Shayna work Asuka,
I don't think that's going to happen.
And I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't need to see, because it shows the lack of their roster to me. Is okay, so you just had Asuka fight both champions. Now you're going to have Shayna Baszler possibly win the tag champions and then still work a program with her. And not saying she's going to win it, but she's going to take.
I don't think she's gonna. I think what's going to happen is that even though they win, I think Baszler and Nia are going to keep fighting each other. Because
it's on the tag titles.
Yeah, well, doesn't make any difference.
Come on, guys, you can write better, WWE. You know you can have done it years before. Get it together. Universal Championship main event time. Braun Strowman versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. So much talk of Alexa Bliss involved in this. Even the pre-match package.
I will say you skipped over McIntyre and Orton. Which was
that's actually isn't that the main event?
No, Braun and the Fiend are the main.
Oh, you're right. So
none of that makes any difference.
Storyline wise, though, that didn't the McIntyre Orton match didn't do much because all the legend shit. Like you have the legend killer, but McIntyre isn't a legend yet. Like
Right.
he's in prime right now.
Right.
So all of the gimmick for Orton just kind of went to a halt, and he was just fighting the champion. Don't get me wrong, an amazing match again. Both those guys were on a show, and it was awesome. And honestly, I thought Orton was going to pull it out.
I did too. I think if we would have done a prediction show, I would have had Orton winning.
I think we did, and I think we both said Orton was winning.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if they feel crowds are coming back sooner and maybe didn't want to give the belt off of McIntyre now.
That may be, although
that is the other thing. AEW started selling tickets.
We'll talk about Raw as well, and how and the weird goofy stuff that happened on there.
All right, well, let's get through this match, and you can give me my quick Raw rundown.
Yeah,
and then we'll end the show. Excuse me. So again, they teased this whole Sister Abigail and Alexa Bliss stuff. It was an all right match, but like, again, you just made Alexa Bliss the center of this for 2 weeks, that everybody thought that she was going to play a part in this match. And again, SummerSlam, you never saw it coming. Yeah, I didn't really see Roman Reigns coming, but when he did, to me, it was just like, but I want to know what they're doing with Alexa. Like, I didn't care. I had zero cares that he was back. And to me, it was, well, wait, so does this mean she's not coming out? We're going to find out if she's like joining Bray or if she's joining Braun or what she's doing. Why did you waste 2 weeks of TV involving her and building her up in this for nothing?
Yeah.
And even if you do something with her on SmackDown, that's what the pay-per-views are for, guys. Remember why you did these in the first place? Pay-per-views are for payoffs. This is where you make the shit happen, and then you build your next story off of that. Why are we not doing that anymore? Why are we saving it for other shit like SmackDown? And I don't even know, because they might not. We may just not see Bliss for a little bit, and then she's just going to pop back in or something like that.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, you wasted 2 weeks of teasing her in this whole, well, not even 2 weeks, since Extreme Rules. You've been teasing this. Yeah. That she's involved with this and it's going to get more involved. You know, if it would have been the one-off at there and then having her get taken by Bray Wyatt and the Mandible Claw, if they would have did that and then Braun just was like, I don't care, and then they left it and she
would have
just
been better.
It would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why did you keep it going to not have a payoff with it? And that's what bothered me. And then again, like when Roman Reigns jumped in the ring, and the first thing in my head was, what the shit? That's not Alexa Bliss. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? And then it's like, oh, it's Roman. Yay, he's back, but that's not what I wanted. You just put, and then in the end, you never saw it coming. I didn't want to see it coming.
Right.
You had invested, and now you just killed it.
Two things though, too. For the two things, I guess, one good and one not so good. Roman with a beard looks way meaner than clean shaven. I mean, I was trying to put my finger on it, and it's like, man, it's Roman Reigns, but he just looks madder, and it's the beard, you know, and whatever. They must have done some more makeup.
Or I felt he looked skinnier. I felt like he leaned out a little bit.
That might be too, but two things I didn't see coming. I didn't see him coming into the ring, so I was surprised by that, which was nice. But I also thought after how many weeks of Retribution that they would have done something at the fucking pay-per-view.
You know, the thing too is
they did
right before, what match was it? I think it was Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville's match. Right before that match, they did the full video package recap of everything Retribution has done so far.
And then
after that, there was 2 or 3 times, if you're watching, that the screen would cut out for a quick second and come back. It would go black and back. Why? Why are we doing this to not, again, have any capitalization on it on a big show? Again, and the thing that pisses me off a little bit more about this, and I know we try to be positive about everything, but SummerSlam is one of your original big 4. This Survivor Series, Rumble, and Mania have always been treated on a little bit of a higher platform. What's up, Chris? Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Hopefully you're doing good, bud. You know what I mean? Those four have always been a little bit higher up on the pedestal than every other pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for them to, again, yeah, Roman Reigns came back. Cool. That's awesome. But again, he came back in a story that I was so invested on seeing how this other thing was going to play out. And then you just didn't do it. And then again, you teased this. You had the little special effects to tease that they were there. And then nothing. Because I figured the end of the show was going to end with them getting cut to backstage.
Too. I felt like at the very least, the best thing they could have done was had Roman Reigns in charge of Retribution. He could have been the leader, and I would have been absolutely fine with how that whole thing ended.
Now, here's the thing with that, though. I haven't seen Raw, but I assume he was on Raw. Or no, those are SmackDown boys now.
Nope.
We'll see him on SmackDown. But
Retribution was back again on SmackDown
Raw.
or on Raw. With their normal just bringing shit in and causing problems. They surround. There was a rematch between.
See, Roman Reigns is one of those guys though that like he's a Cena. He makes too much money for merch and for the kids that he's going to be like having to be like really behind the shuffle for them to finally be like, all right,
I don't know though. You know, his T-shirt said, "Wreck everybody, then leave."
Yeah, but he had the same stuff where it's like, this is my yard. And
yeah,
I just, again, he's the face. He really is, especially after all the leukemia stuff and them making that public. They can't turn him heel. They've cornered him into that baby face role. Yeah. Especially now that Vince wanted him to be that face for so long, and it was just so rejected for years. And then the last 2 years, people finally have gotten behind Roman Reigns. That it's just, you can't now. You can't turn him a heel now. Like you just, and I don't think Vince would ever do it because again, he sees him as the next Cena.
Yeah, who knows?
Which don't get me wrong, I love Roman Reigns. He was actually in it's a movie on Netflix called The Wrong Missy. It's a David Spade flick.
Okay.
On Netflix. It's hilarious. It's like all of Adam Sandler boys. Adam Sandler's not in it.
Yeah.
And it's basically David Spade goes on this crazy date with this crazy girl named Missy, bails on the date. He then eventually meets this chick at an airport. Yes, this is live. Meets someone at an airport, hits it off with her. Her name's Missy. He ends up going on like a retreat to Hawaii with his company, and he texts the wrong Missy to come. So then, like, crazy lady meets him at the airport. But what it starts out with him meeting the crazy girl on a blind date at this bar, right?
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I'm in the black dress sitting at the bar. Help me. This big guy won't leave me alone." So David Spade goes over there, and it's Roman Reigns is the guy playing the guy. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm going to steal your date from you now." And he's just like, "What? You got a problem, man? This is my wife." And like the first like 10 minutes of this movie involves them kind of, and it's pretty hilarious to see it. So, but you know, like that, you could see that though, because he was also in Hobbs and Shaw. Man, they're gonna like build the WWE would love to see Roman Reigns be the next Rock or Cena. Will it happen? Probably not, but they would love it.
I get it.
All right, so run down Raw quickly,
real quick. The things that I can remember: the Asuka had the Defender title against Banks and won. These are not in the proper order.
I don't even really care about the matches. Just tell me the big moments that we need to know.
Big moments. So the big thing for the women was that Asuka retained her title. That Sasha and Nia, even though they hated each other and were slapping each other around, they I don't think so.
Maybe though, we don't know.
It's not like I understand what either of them are saying.
Cousin Nakamura.
Anyway, Nia Jax is back because all she had to do was apologize. And
That was
so
another thing that they missed out on. Like, have Nia Jax and that dude wrestle. Have a match. Why are
they're
you
not gonna,
afraid of doing it? Just do it.
they're never gonna.
They're in such a struggle mode right now, and by doing that, you know how many more eyes would be tuning in. Like, but I know you're shaking your head saying no, because that is true. They won't do it, but it's like that is what's wrong with Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
get out of your box, bro.
They've had glimpses. I mean, Randy Orton RKO'd her. You know,
that's just, they do those. They do the gimmick ones where it's like,
oh gosh, well then I just don't put them up there, man. It's okay. We don't care. We don't really.
They did the gimmicky Royal Rumble where they'll have one of their tough girls go in it every once in a while on the male men's Royal Rumble, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah,
like, dude, set it up. But China got some matches with some guys. She just turned Jericho. I don't know. Anyways, what else happened?
Let's see. So Aleister Black, Black Masked KO, because he was, for whatever reason, didn't. I mean, he didn't say a word, and was all dark and pissy. So it looks as though he's either. I mean, the way that they're doing it, I got a feeling that he's going to join Rollins, but the way that they're doing it, he's just so mad at everybody. But I don't think that's going to be the case. There was an ongoing thing between McIntyre and Orton, and Orton kicked him in the head twice. And by the way, if you go back and watch it, it's backstage, and it is horrible. Nobody would think that Randy Orton actually kicked him in the head. It was so badly done. But he goes off. Keith Lee comes out, makes a big statement. Well, my friend is McIntyre, blah, blah, blah. So it's Orton and Keith Lee, and it's freaking awesome. And Keith Lee is getting over. And then McIntyre comes back and gets kicked in the head again. After, or I don't remember how it all worked out, or chases Orton from the ring, or whatever the hell was going on. And let's see what else, and then Retribution came back at the end. Oh yeah, and then backstage, McIntyre got kicked in the head yet one more time, and then they made a big deal out of it, put him in an ambulance, and says, "Oh boy, it's really bad this time. It could be a skull fracture."
So with Retribution, was it the same thing? They just came, messed himself up?
No. I take it back. So there was a match between the two Mysterios and Rollins and Murphy, which was going on, and out comes Retribution, and they surround the ring. Rollins and Murphy escape and are laughing from the ramp, while Retribution is beating the hell out of the Mysterios, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So it was okay. One thing we didn't talk about, big, huge, very happy for me that Brody Lee is the TNT champion. That's cool.
Brody Lee, champ. Yeah, you think he'll continue with him doing the open challenge like Cody Rhodes was doing?
Fuck no.
Yeah, man, that'll be fun. It'll be. I just want to see Cody Rhodes actually be in like a feud again in a storyline. It's been so long because he's just doing all these one-off matches every week.
Yeah.
You were telling me some of the stuff with Orange Cassidy and Jericho from this Saturday night's Dynamite. Sounds like getting a little too cheesy now with it. Maybe taking
way
it
too cheesy.
hard. So I don't know how I feel about that. But I need to check it out. I haven't seen it.
The one thing I didn't see coming. Is Thunder Rosa is going to take out Cheetah, and I'm all about that. That's awesome.
You're a huge Thunder Rosa fan. She's awesome. So that'll be cool to see. Dude, they're picking up names, man. They're picking up names. It sounds like Cody's making some calls.
Well, I think
you never know what you're going to see happen there.
Well, I hope one call that we
Well, I know my friend Red Velvet had a match on Dark tonight, so I haven't had a chance to watch it. Hopefully it was good. Big shout out to her.
We'll look forward to seeing her. Yeah, I mean, it's they got to take on 3 shows versus 1, but you know, they're getting to the point where they're close to 1 million viewers for AEW. They got to wade through all of this hopping around because of the NBA playoffs, but seems like everybody's following them. They've got enough stuff to go on to you know, keep it going. I think, what is it on? Is it on Thursday night this week?
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule is gigantically fucked up.
Yeah, it's all messed up right now because of that. To be honest, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll get better again too once that's done. Plus, you know, NXT just came out of a big takeover.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, man, it sucks that the NBA playoffs kind of ruined that. Because, like, especially for me, like, I love watching Dynamite, but I was on vacation this weekend, so I didn't get to watch it on Saturday. Thursday night, we'll have another Briscoe Big A show with me and Wes, so probably we'll miss some of it then. But make sure you check us out on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all that. The Briscoe Big A show.
I'm going to say, by the way, if you haven't watched the latest Botchamania, it's hilarious because, you know, I think it was a couple of weeks ago they had Sammy Guevara come out with his during the picture-in-a-picture thing with the cards and on Botchamania they show it with the guy that's trying to talk him through, and he fucks it up gigantically. He's like, "Okay, you got another minute left." He's telling me you got a minute left, and he's like, "Okay," so he's rushing through, and he's like, "Okay, you got 2 minutes left." I said, "What the fuck?" It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Before we wrap up, I was gonna say the few. TNA is that Impact is very much in live, so Total Nonstop Action Wrestling done. Their show that they had Impact has now become the brand,
and it's on AXS, right?
Access TV, baby. Chris, You want to know WWE getting any better? I really hope so. I think everybody thinks that the winds will change once someone's gone and relieved of his duties, but unfortunately he needs to leave the earth for that to happen, it sounds like. So I don't know. I would love to say that in a perfect world, if things would have worked out pre-pandemic and the XFL was somewhat successful this year, he would have put more into that next year, meaning I think he would have taken himself out a little bit or at least given up some of the ropes. But that just did not happen because of the pandemic. So who knows? Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. I mean, we both look weird, so I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, the Attitude Era, man, that was the best. I miss it too, but yeah, I don't know. I think WWE will get better. I really do. I mean, there's people there who know. The other thing too is NXT, man. You see, even when they're having their bad day, NXT is still better than usually what you're getting on Raw and SmackDown. So you got to think what's going to say something for when Triple H takes over or Stephanie takes over, whoever that may be. It sounds like Triple H. But the other thing too is now they got to compete with a company AEW that I don't see not growing. Man, I went to my local Walmart last week just to see if they had the toys, and they were cleaned out.
Yeah,
cleaned out of the action figures. So I mean, they've got a fan base too. So 5 years from now will be very interesting to see what the wrestling landscape will look like around here as far as these big companies. But you know, the other thing too that happened, and it definitely will. The other thing too that happened is Renee Young leaving WWE. Now, the thing that was bothering me seeing this is so many people were just, she's going to AEW. She's married to Mox, going to AEW. And it kind of bummed me out because it made me realize how many people look at her and they're like,
"Thanks,
you know,
Chris.
Oh yeah, take it easy, Chris. We'll Chris, Thursday, me and West make sure you join us. Probably like 6-7 o'clock Central. And then next week we're working on possibly having PJ Black on the show, so check that out too. Yeah, man, it was just sad to see how many wrestling fans were like, Renee's wrestling and only wrestling.
She can go wherever the fuck she wants to.
She did sports broadcasting before she did wrestling. She was on a Canadian sports channel, and talked about everything, but also talked wrestling, and then eventually got picked up by WWE. She was ESPN years ago was trying to get her from WWE. They wanted. So the fact that people just automatically were like, well, she's going to AEW is kind of a bummer, because it's like, do you guys not realize how talented that woman is? She could literally go anywhere.
I don't think she will, because here's the other thing. Right now, I don't know where they'd put her. They have too many. They have too many announcers as it is. They had Veda Scott was on Dark again, right?
Yeah, AEW has quite the roster, and they don't have spots for everybody as far as to keep them continuous.
Not only the announcers, but the wrestlers as well. When was the last time you saw Lance Archer? You know,
right?
There's I mean, the pandemic is holding them back. You know, one of the things here is we're not on Spotify. We could be, but we're too lazy to do that.
We might be, though. We did it. I just don't know if it all got accepted.
Yeah. I guarantee you that the announcers they have now are way better than when they started. Alex Marvez, God love him, man, but they're just taking care of that guy's ass only because he does stuff for the Jaguars. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons he got hired, was because he was already in with the Khan family, and he seems like he's a nice enough guy and knows enough. But I mean, he just doesn't have.
It just didn't come off well as a on-screen commentary. Yeah. I like him backstage stuff. I like him doing interview segment stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So again, though, it was just sad to see that, but man, that sucks. Dude, Renee Young, I don't know, man. Like, I saw her when she debuted with WWE, and like as a broadcaster standpoint, because again, anybody watching who doesn't know, both of us have been involved in radio broadcasting for many, 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 many years. It's where me and you met. So from a broadcaster standpoint and someone in the media, like, you could tell she was just awesome at it. Any interview she did was just perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She knew how to get good interviews out of people. She was entertaining. She did stuff with the JBL Cole show, which I think eventually became the JBL Renee show on YouTube. And it was hilarious. And yeah, man, I mean, she could literally go do anything she wants, anywhere she wants. She does not need to go to AEW like a lot of people just assume. So, but yeah, man, it's cool, man. I've met her a few times, and it's always been a pleasure. It would be a dream to get her on a show. That would be awesome.
She's not doing anything now.
Maybe someday. She's got that non-compete too, though, everybody. So even if she is going to AEW, it's going to be a while. So
I wonder if that non-compete would hold up with an ESPN or a CBS Sports.
Doubt it. Yeah, that's a good call, Dan. He had to, just had to. But
you got the connections. Watch him on Thursday with Wes Briscoe.
Yeah, I don't have those Renee connections. So.
Well, no.
Thursday, guys, if you want Briscoe Big A show, me and professional wrestler Wes Briscoe. You've seen him in WWE, TNA, all that good stuff. It's my homie right there. We do a show about every other week, and we're doing an episode this Thursday live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that stuff. Check it out. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. The Briscoe and Big A show. We are hopefully lining up a show possibly with PJ Black for next week. We're going to have Papa Briscoe, Jerry Briscoe on hopefully soon too. Brian Cage, we're going to probably have back on the show here fairly soon as well too. So some other names that we're going to be working on. We got some guests that we got lined up here coming up in the next few weeks, so hopefully a year or two on the 2 count. So make sure you check that out.
Yeah, and if you're out there and you want to go see me, I'm going to be at the Island Casino on Sunday up in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, which is a little bit south and west of Escanaba, Michigan. That'll be fun. Other than that, exactly. There we go. Chris, I thought you were going to go work on that Ford, baby.
Hell yeah, that's my boy, Brian Cage. Shout out, bro.
We love you. And Dan, yes, and that's on Thursday, right, Dan? Yeah.
Oh,
so anyway, for those and guys, so you guys know Alaska. Well,
shout out to Alaska then. Chris, you're still here. I think Chris, are you in Alaska? I could be wrong on that.
Shoot, I was supposed to be up in Alaska if it weren't for this pandemic, doing some comedy shows. I think one of them was going to be at Coots in Anchorage, and then I think we had shows lined up for Wasilla and what is it, Settlers Bay? I don't remember. Kodiak. God dang, Kodiak. That's a sweet spot.
Shout out Kodiak. Hell yeah, Chris. Sometimes Chris will send me some cool videos of him out there. It's always cool to see.
Chasing bears and shit.
Hell yeah.
You know, I still watch. I don't know if I ever. I still watch. I think the salmon have stopped running, but I watch those goddamn bears standing at. I don't know what the fuck the name of the place is, but the falls where they're just catching them. They just sit there and. I should be
happy or sad for you that that's what you want.
Anyway.
Oh man. All right.
Anyway. All right. Guys, just a reminder, if you want to buy a shirt from the show, you can catch it. It's running along here. We've got a Spreadshirt. You can check out all of that shit at our website, the2count.com. Just the way it's posted. You can get our latest. You can get all of our back issues. Oh, wait a minute here.
That's way too close for comfort there.
Jesus, Peters, yeah. No. As long as they're not hungry.
Hell no.
We try to do it every week, baby. You know that.
Yeah, 2 count every week. Unfortunately, Briscoe Big A show isn't every week.
Briscoe and Big Ace is at the mercy of Wes's schedule. But
busy, but generally Thursdays.
Typically we do Facebook, we do YouTube, we do Twitter and Twitch. So if you're watching on any of those, we appreciate it. Follow us. We're not as good at Twitch as we should be. So I know a couple of you guys are watching on Twitch. It's a little bit more difficult for us to control everything.
Shout out India. What up?
Very nice.
Heck yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Everybody stay safe. And we will see all of y'all in, I don't know. How about a week's time? Sounds good. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.